Welcome back, guys. Jamie, your Mythic Game Master here. Today we're going to talk about something a little bit different. Figured we go over some usability and different functions for Roll20. Here you can see my Roll20 interface with the various games that I either play and or GM. With my current VTT game being Rise of the Drow here. I figured we'd start out by doing something simple, which is going over the Hero Lab character sheet import. So if you bring up your character, here I've got Curtis Wagner brought up from Emerald Spire. Here you can see everybody in Emerald Spire. Somewhere beneath it. There we go. Okay, so looking at the character sheet, you want to click on settings till it brings up this configuration sheet. And then scroll down to get down to here where it says Hero Lab Character Import. And these are the instructions. All you have to do is follow those instructions. If you go to Hero Lab, output hero stat block. Oops, not stat block. Let me do that again. Save custom output. Alright, you want to generate XML file right here. Current hero only. Output Ilthurian. I'll put him in Rise of the Drow, make him easy to find. Boom, boom, boom. And there he's done. Now you don't want this code, okay? Now the second step you have to take is to open Notepad++, Notepad 2. So you go download that if you don't know what it is. Hit open, navigate to the file you just outputted, Ilthurian right here. And now you open it, select all, copy. Right here on the character sheet, it has the address for where you need to go next, which is right here, XML to JSON converter. Control V to paste, tell it to convert to JSON, boom, select all, copy, bring it back over. You paste it right in here. And once you paste it in and click outside of your character, the whole thing will process, and then boom, you've got a whole new character right there. Just hit the settings button to go back to these functions. Okay, so when I play on Roll20, one of the first tips that I figured out was to go ahead and expand my character sheet. And let's just make it its own window. That way it's always right here. When I need to get to it, I just go boom, rather than going through the long and involved process and clicking on the name, and then you have to wait. And I'm sitting here waiting for it to load. Now I got to go over to the character sheet, wait for that to load. And I sneezed all in the mic. Apologies for that. There was no way to mute it. Okay, so rather than doing all that, just leave it expanded, minimize it, and maximize it as needed. There you go. Okay, so there are a few other functions here for you. I'm currently set on as GM view. Let me rejoin as a player and see if there's a few of these that I can then offer to you. While we do that, why don't you take a moment to take a look at the old DM wish lists here. You can actually check out my wish list at any time, and you can see currently has no items. Okay, of course it has items in it. And if you go to my wish list, you can see all the various token and map sets that I currently have marked to possibly maybe buy one day. So if you see one that looks good and you feel like making a donation to your old GM, there's plenty of these jokers out here. You know, $5 a month or whatever will add up to several token sets very quickly. I'm actually looking at these two to get those very, very soon. Okay, now I've reloaded as a player over here, so I won't give you a confusing look. As I scroll down, now you're actually seeing two views over here. You should only see this one side, but as a player I have access to all those guys. Okay, so now I can move my character around. He has dynamic lighting, so you see the light is going to change relative to his to his point of view. On most of my boards, I have it set to update on drop. So you move your character around, you don't really see anything. But once you drop him, that's when you'll be able to see where the light is going to. Okay. Anytime you need to measure something, I usually go snap to corner to measure, because if you're going for distance for a spell or any kind of a skill effect, acrobatics, what have you, you're going to need to snap to the corner, not the center, so you can get the full understanding of the distance and measurements involved. Okay, that's that function right there. If you hit the little die, you can do your die rolls at any time. You can tell it how many you want it to roll, what type of die, what the modifier is, all that stuff. If you need to increase your magnification, you can do that at any time. Generally, what I do in combat is I'll zoom in really nice and close like this, so I get a good view of, well, my roller mouse just shoved me all the way back out. Okay, so that way I get a really good view of everything that's happening. Okay. Now what happens when you end up like this, where you're just looking at a black screen? You just need to maximize all the way back out. Of course, now I'm having lag. Okay, just maximize all the way out where you can see everything, and then start moving your way in, and just adjust your positioning as you need to by use of the sliders, and it will get you over the appropriate spot on the map. Damn it, this fucking roller mouse, pardon my French there. But it's good to alternate a little bit between the wide view and the close-up view. That way you can see everything that's around you, but also you go in close so you have a good understanding of what you're up close to, because on a lot of these, there might be a small important detail, like right here you can see there's a dead spider body, blood. It's shown, it's got the hidden icon on it, meaning you can't see it unless you're down in the pit with it. There might be a detail on the screen. Okay, so speaking of screen, let's talk about pinging. You're going to see a lot of pinging either from your GM or from characters who are wanting to point out something on the screen. So it's just simply holding down the left mouse button and you ping. Ping, 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 ping. That's all there is to it. If you want to draw something, you can go over here to draw, pick your color, whatever it is you're going to do, and you just draw. Oh, here I've got it set on a square, which is pretty easy to do. You just do it like that, and now you've got a square. You go back, select it, delete it, move it around, whatever you want to do. You're going to need to make good use of your right side menu over here. Okay, primarily you're going to be set on the chat function, which is right here, so that way you can see all of your rolls as they come up. You can turn this 3D function on or off. So there you can see I rolled my roll, and it's just 18 unmodified. So let's mess with the character sheet just a little bit. We'll bring out Curtis's sheet since I'm moving him around. Oh, excuse me. What did I say to do earlier? I said leave it down here. Well, now I screwed it up. I maximized it and closed it. Okay. So let's let his character sheet go over here. We'll maximize it. And I'll minimize it down so it's down there. Now, one thing I like to do when I'm playing, just in case I need a refresher on any rules, is I'll open up the D20 PFSRD right here. And then I'll click on this section for combat, because that seems to be where the bulk of your questions are going to arise about the game. Okay, so here you go. You have all of your bookmarks, your quick links. If you want, you can just scroll down, and you've got all your little reminders for the various rules that are going to come into play. And this makes a good, handy cheat sheet that you can kind of peek at while you're waiting for somebody else to complete their turn. Here you've got actions in combat, whether or not it provokes, so on and so forth. Just all the rules that you need throughout combat in the Pathfinder role-playing game. Pretty cool, huh? Okay, let me switch back over here. We've got old Curtis moving around. Alright, so I can track Curtis's health here. So he takes some damage. Boom, I'll put him down to 15. Now to adjust that, we're going to go right here. Okay, so let's say we'll give him a value here. It'll say 45 is the top value. Boom. So if we put that in and then hit save, boom, it added this second bar here. I know that 45 is the top value, so I just add and subtract from it. It tells me how much is left of that top value. See? So you just click on the little gear to do that. If you want to create an aura, you can do that right here. And boom, now I created an aura that will move around with him. This is a good way to create a nice cheap light aura, though with it being yellow, it makes it look a little bit more magical than it probably should for something that's just basic light. But maybe you have a healing aura or some other kind of arcane aura, and that's what you might use it for. So that'll come into play at some point. Click underneath that. You'll see these colors used for various encounters. That way, if you have a group of goblins, we can differentiate between them all by the various colors. Here we see the various status icons. You just click on them to get whatever you want to get there. I like this little fireball looking one as kind of a torch token, and let you know this guy's carrying a torch around. Or you might use another icon for something else. I mean, there are I think about 80 of them in the icon pack that I use. Ugh, I'm surprised. Now I'm hypnotized. Now I'm blind. Now I'm unconscious. There are quite a few options that one can use from there. Okay, let's pull up the sheet again. Alright, right here you have buttons. Now, boom, if I hit the button, it puts that array over here on the right side menu. So if I go back over here, now I put the button up here. Rather than have to navigate all the way to my character sheet, if I want to roll initiative, I can just hit the button right there. Boom. There's Curtis. Okay, now if I want to get initiative on the board, I have to remember I've got to click on Curtis and then hit the initiative button. And then that will add it to the initiative counter. Also on that particular ability checks button that I put out, you can make a strength check, dexterity check, all those things. You just hit the button, modifiers will appear on their own, and you've got a selection of buttons that you can apply there. Let's put my attacks out there. Here we go. Curtis has a composite longbow, he's got a long sword, just do melee, or if he's doing a combat maneuver, we can hit C and B. Quick links right there below, the little easy buttons. It's got his adamantine warhammer. There you can see the attack. You can hover over it, and it will break down the actual roll plus the modifiers. You can see the damage. The red outline means that there was a 1 rolled. Did 6 points of damage. Again, you can see 2d6, a 2, and a 4 rolled for the damage type, for the damage amount, and then the type is listed right beneath it for blunt. Alright, let's look at the character sheet a little bit more. Again, you've got your skills on here, all this stuff. All skills, let's put the buttons over here. Boom, 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 boom. There's your buttons. That makes it easy to find all those things. But you've got them right here on the character sheet. If you're going to leave this expanded and up, all you have to do is just scroll down. And you just hit the dice icon. And that will make it roll. There you go. It's pretty simple. If I had some specific questions, I guess I would go over those, but I don't at this time. Let's click on the attacks icon. In case you have a weapon, a new weapon that you need to add, you go down here to the little plus button, and boom, you add your new weapon. You can just call it whatever you want to call it. You can check it for masterwork. If it's enhanced, you put the enhancements on it. The attack type, let's say it's a melee attack. Hits regular AC, but it crits on a 19 to 20. It's got a ×3 modifier. Just all these things. Okay, it rolls 1d6. No, we'll say it does 2d6. There you go. And you just add in your various modifiers. Let's say if it's a rapier, you need to modify it with your dex instead of your strength for damage. Put in dex right here. Down here you select, you just put in a PB or S for the appropriate damage type, and then you can add reach and so on and so forth. If If you look down below here, you have miscellaneous things which you can add if you expand it. Extra damage. Let's say I have a sneak attack. Then we'll add in a sneak attack roll right here. Or iterative attacks. If you want to go ahead and include the fact that he's got a second or third attack, you can go ahead and add all these things on here. It's got the modified amounts down below it. So it's pretty simple. I mean, you just have to get the hang of it. Click on any of these tabs to take you over to where you need to be. Again, with the Hero Lab import, I find it pretty easy to do that, and for the most part it updates most of these things, though it might not update everything. So if we have any specific questions going forward, I'll try to answer them. Here, let's hit the all buttons. We'll put them all over here. Initiative, ability checks, all skills. Boom. So you can just put those over there on the chat section anytime you want, and it makes it pretty simple to then access your rolls. Okay. The one thing I wanted to show you how to do was to set to always prompt for modifier. I'm not exactly certain where that is, but it is on here somewhere. Always prompt for modifier. I don't see it. I need to look it up and try to remember where I saw that particular prompt, but I like the always prompt for modifier option because it will always ask me before the roll. It will say, what modifier do you want to add? And if I don't want to add anything, I'll just tell it okay, and it adds nothing, and it completes the roll. If I hit cancel, it will actually cancel out the roll, and so on and so forth. I don't see that. I hope it was on this sheet. Maybe I'm confusing it with another sheet. Well, anyway, there are some of the basic functions of your Roll20. If you want to access the handouts, just click on the little, whatever this thing is, the handout section. You got characters up here at the top. Roll down to the bottom. We've got Unearthed Arcana folder. We've got the actual handouts. We've got campaign cards here. Portraits are for characters, anybody you encounter. And you can just roll over and you just click on the ones that you want to check out. You have control over your sound. If you go all the way to the gears, in the gear setting here on the right hand menu, you can adjust your sound up and down as needed. You can change your display name. Here you can choose to use animated dice, all these different things. What you want to show for the avatars down here. I've got it set to name only. You can change it to large display. I find that a bit obstructive, so I like to keep it on names only. We keep the chat off, so nothing gets buggy. We just use Discord for chat and whatnot. And anytime you have trouble with any of these things, just exit the game and reopen it so that your browser will reorientate to the setting, and you should be good to go. Okay, well there you go, guys. That's all for now. This is Jamie, your Mythic Dungeon Master, offering you a few tips on Roll20 and your Pathfinder game. And if you have any specific questions, feel free to throw them out there, and we'll take a look at them next time.